into the number sense unit, you are going to be responsible to know anything that we've learned so far this year. On the unit test, you're allowed to use a calculator. I'm going to go through every answer, so this is going to be a longer than normal video that talks about how to do each step. Always feel free to use a calculator. I'm going to do my best not to use a calculator on this for you, so you can see each step. Show 1,000, 200s, 3 tens, and 5 ones in the correct order. So I know that ones go first, then my 3 tens, 200s, and 1,000s. Write the number in the box in expanded notation. This is standard notation right now, and they want us to expand that out. So that's going to be when we do this, 1,000 plus 200 plus 40 plus 3. What number goes in the box? Really what they want you to know is that this is commutative property. I can go this way and I can go that way with my addition. So 7 goes in the box. 7 plus 5 equals 5 plus 7. Now this is associative property. Who are we hanging out? Who are we associated with? As you know, the numbers are going to all be the same, but the parentheses has just moved. So what step am I doing first? And so 4 times 7, or 4, if I multiply 7 times 5 and then I multiply it by 4, I'm going to get the same answer if I multiply 4 by 5. So the answer is 5 times 7. Which of these numbers is the greatest, the biggest? So I'm going to start with my thousands place, and I see that 6,000 is bigger than 5,000, so those are not an option. I go to my hundreds place, and these are the same. I go to my tens place, and 2 is bigger than 1, so my answer is B, 6,421. We need to round this to the nearest hundred, so I'm going to underline that so I know that's the number that might change. And if it's 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So this is more than 5, so it's 5 or more, let it soar. So I'm going to change that 2 to a 3. So 1,300. You could also think of it, is it closer to 1,200 or 1,300? What is the prime factorization of 12? Well, to know that you have to know your prime numbers, which are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. So let's break 12 down. So I need to know what numbers multiply to equal 12. Well, I know 2 goes into 12, and 2 times 12 is 6. 2 is prime, so I'm going to circle it so I know that branch of my factor tree is done. So I'm going to split 6 into 2 numbers. What 2 numbers multiply to equal 6? That's up in this. I know 2 goes into 6 times 3. Now all my numbers are prime because they're in that list. So I know it's 2 times 2 times 3. Well, that's not one of my options. And these aren't prime numbers, so those go away. Well, I have 2 2's, so that would be 2 squared, not cubed. Let me fix that. Times only 1 3. And so that answer is C. We need to subtract this, so I'm going to bring this down here. Remember, you can use a calculator. 9 minus 4 is 5. Can't take 7 away from 6. I gotta borrow. That becomes a 3. 16 minus 7 is 9. I'm going to erase that because it doesn't look like a 5. 3 minus 6. Can't do it. Gotta go borrow. 13 minus 6 is 7, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So my answer is 2,795. What operation sign would you use to find the product of two numbers? Well, that is going to be multiplication, so D. So this is the sum, the difference, product, and the quotient. And I probably spelled quotient wrong, but you get the idea. Now we get to multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry my 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus the 2 is 30. Carry my 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So my answer is 1,100. Scientific notation. So I automatically know I'm going to be multiplying it by 10 to the power of something. So we got to move our decimal place to after the first number. And I count how many times I move it. 1, 2. So my new decimal is going to be 3.574 times 10, and I move my decimal to the place 2 places. You will also be expected to be able to go the other way, to go from scientific notation to standard notation. And sometimes, if it has a negative number, it's a small number. So let's go ahead and try that out. Let's say if I had 2.8 times 10 to the negative third, and I said, write that in standard notation. Well, I'm going to move my decimal place, and this tells me the negative sign means that's a small number, so I'm going to make 2.8 smaller. So I'm going to 2.8, and I'm going to make this smaller by 3 moves of that decimal. 1, 2, 3. And in those space holding those zeros. And that's how you do it. All right. They want you to know order of operations first, PEMDAS. You guys already came in solid on that. So 12 divided by 2 is 6 plus 5, and that gives me 11. Other things that you will be responsible for is long division. Remember, you can use a calculator. Mean, median, end mode, and range. Remember the raps I made you listen to that you hated. But come find me if you need some help.